Welcome everyone, Crypto Rain here, and we're talking about making it rain. Before we get Alright guys, today, if you can't already see, we're going to be talking about Nash and the NEX token. Before we do that, let's just look at where we are. We are in December and we have some very exciting things going on. I've got pulled up here trading view so we can take a look overall at where we are. So this is just Bitcoin going back to 2015. As I'm sure you're aware, we do 4-year cycles in cryptocurrency. So we have been on a down cycle for a long time until a little bit earlier this year. And so you can see that all here. If I were to grab a line, bam, and then we broke through about July and we broke the downtrend, and now we're in a bull market. But if you look at the 4-year patterns, this was pretty predictable and very exciting. So even just looking historically, it's pretty close to 4-year marks where the cycle goes through. And so Bitcoin has absolutely gone crazy. Some altcoins have gone crazy, particularly around July. We saw anything related to DeFi absolutely take off, except for one token. Most things related to DeFi, let's say. And a lot of other things, NFT tokens, game tokens like Axie Infinity, like some other things that way have gone crazy. A little bit with Decentraland, but let's drill into here what's happening. So finally the downtrend is broken, and it just goes in these cycles. You know, the halving happened about right here, and you know, then we had Black Tuesday and everything dropped. It just recovered from there, and then we broke this trend, and we're now on an uptrend that usually goes parabolic. So here was our last time. So 4 years ago there we go, the 13th of December 2016, exactly 4 years ago, was right here. So we've got some exciting things in front of us. So Bitcoin is likely from where it is now to 10x. Now, it could have some retracement going on. Likely it will, with such a steep run up like that, that likely it'll retrace more than just a little bit it did here. If we were to grab our little fib retracement and look at this growth, it came all the way up to there, and it retraced to the 23.6. Probably will retrace more before resuming the bull run. Now that said, that's Bitcoin. Why do I talk about that? Because that drives a lot of things. But the altcoins really haven't had their runs. They've had little runs. One has been absent from that, though. One that I've been very interested since its ICO, and that is the NEX token. What at first was going to be the Neon Exchange, and then they just like the name Nash. There's a number of reasons why they said they did it. So a big announcement just came which boosted the price a ton. So the Nash Exchange token is now available on Ethereum. And if you saw this news, you saw a bunch of gain. Now everyone's forgotten about the Nash token and the NEX Exchange, partly because the rebrand, a bunch of people missed it. They had heard from Superman and others about the Nash or the NEX token and were very excited about it, and most of them weren't able to get in on the ICO. We'll talk about what happened with the price and where it's been and what's going on behind it. But they seem to be building a very solid foundation so that this next run they can do exceptionally well, and they are extremely underpriced in my opinion. So let's go to this. Let's look at their market cap, 34 million. Now this is after a recent really big jump too. It was all the way down at like 20 million. So when this news came out 2 days ago, people took notice, and this used to be pretty much the only place you could buy it was Switch.io. And so it was all the way down here in terms of how many NEO it took to buy it. and this was just 928. So a few months ago, 2.5 months ago, and hit a low. Then it came down here, and just since this announcement a couple days ago has absolutely been tearing upwards. Now, for an exchange, that market cap is not very high, and especially with them paying out dividends. Now, I don't know about you, if you had your tokens early on when they first started staking, I was one of the first to stake on them, and it was pretty disappointing what the dividends were, but it's just been growing. And so I check all the time. Here's some of the things that I look at. Let me show you. Not that. There we go. So I look at this all the time just to see what's going on. And this is actually very low for 24-hour volume on the Nash Exchange. It's been averaging over $1 million a day. And what's exciting about it, because you have custody of your own wallet, they don't. Yet their transaction times are really fast, like Binance level transaction times. So you have custody of your own wallet, you have your own private keys, and you get very fast transaction times. One of the downsides that they've had is that very few tokens available on the Nash Exchange. If you look at it, this isn't very many. And so they've been working a way to add that for a while. They really based a lot off early on. They thought Neo was going to be huge, and they had a lot of background in Neo. And so they built everything to focus on Neo, which really hasn't materialized very much. And so they made a switch to make their token usable on the Ethereum network. Also, I think that's going to allow them, first it allows you to be able to buy the Nash token on Uniswap, which is absolutely huge, and why the big run up, because before the only place really you could get it is on Switch.io. I think there might be one other market. I mean, we can check that real quick, but market pairs, yeah, Switch.io and Tokok. I have no idea what exchange this is. So Switch.io is really the only place you could get it, and now you can get it on Uniswap, which is absolutely huge news. It still is a security token. So in the United States, you can get it through those methods, and then you can actually still stake it on their exchange to earn those dividends. And what's been exciting to me is in the last few months, the amount of dividends that's paid out is 10x from what it used to pay out. Now, what it used to pay out wasn't exciting at all, but when you see numbers like that, I remember looking at the daily trading volume, and it was $10,000 a day. So to have it average $1 million was really exciting. And so if you look in the past 1 month, we're going to see average trading numbers if you add all these numbers up. So add those two up, and that's about 20 million, 30 million here. So about 35 million-ish over the past 30 days. So that's been a huge amount of growth. In other words, they've got some big traders behind there, and they have good APIs for big traders to not only control their own wallets, but to be able to execute fast trades. Really, there's two things that's been holding them back. One has been marketing of their product, and the second has been the number of pairs that they've had. But it seems like they're working overtime in the background to increase the number of pairs. And now the availability of buying their tokens through Uniswap, that's absolutely huge, because everyone is now used to using Uniswap, and you can buy them there. You can then send them over to the Nash's software or Nash's page or your account with Nash, and then you can convert them to the Neon version to be able to stake it. So that's absolutely exciting news. Now, if you've been following Nash like me for all this time, you're very excited. As Bitcoin takes its run up and then the focus starts to change on other tokens, all it'll take is another major hack or a few major hacks as this is going up for so many people to jump over to the Nash site, because if you can hold your own private keys, then your stuff is safe. So I'm sure you've been following that. I trust you're as excited as me. I think there's a lot of great things happening, and I'm looking forward to it finally raining on us like it did in 2017. With that, take care.